What's up? What's up? What's up, Survivor Nation? It's your girl, Survivor Speaks. And of course, I didn't schedule this live. I just go live and I feel like it. Um, my daughter had me out in these streets 2 days in a row. And yeah, we had some fun. So I'm just on here giving my 2 cents about um, the news that we received today about Biden dropping out of the race and Kamala Harris possibly being the replacement. So I was out, as I say, with my daughter. So I did just hear a few, things. I've seen, some things. Um, but according to The Simpsons, because, The Simpsons have rarely been wrong. They've really missed. So according to The Simpsons, um, the world was going to be in a disarray. It's really funny that, we can relate and go back to The Simpsons. The world was going to be in disarray, and it was going to be a woman who became president that would step in and fix things. Now, um, as I just stated, the Simpsons have rarely, the Simpsons predictions, the cartoon, they have rarely been wrong. And so, who knows? Who knows what the next steps are, for her to become the primary candidate. But people, I don't think that this is a time for us to be, you know, uh, crying about what is, what was, what could have been. I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that, or whatever. We probably, a lot of people don't like to talk about politics. I don't either. But I don't think this is the time to be sitting on your hands worrying about or not worrying about um, the election. So that's what the people are kind of counting on, and our freedoms are on the line. So before people. I hear people saying they're not voting because this didn't happen back in whatever or whatever. But yeah, our freedoms are really, really on the line, and it is at this point. I don't believe that it is a Democrat or a Republican thing. I think everyone's or independent, everyone's freedoms are on the line. You can look at things as being promised, um, you know, to you. People need to get over the stimulus check. That was your money that you got because of um, the virus of that plagued this country. So that's money that you've paid into anyway. Not talking about people that got these PPP loans because they're going to deal with those people that got those loans and really, really didn't have businesses. I'm talking about just the stimulus check money that you received. It's money that you've been paying into the government all of this time. You never get that any of that money back hardly until you retire. Some people don't see retirement. You don't get it all back. So there's a whole lot of other things. Should we really be paying taxes? A lot of us have like are of Indian descent. So you already know what that is. I don't want to get too deep into that because some of y'all not ready for the deepness. Y'all don't want to hear about it. People want to walk around blindly. But I don't think that it's time. This is the time that we should be sitting on our hands and, being selfish when you have the right to vote and say that you're not voting because of whatever reasons that you're choosing. Right now, it's about freedoms. It's about, not being under a dictatorship. Who wants to do that? People have put blood, sweat, and tears into their own businesses and things like that. And there is just so much at stake here. And so I think that, as a whole, we need to be thinking about that. Um, we need to be thinking about that as a whole. We need to be thinking about all those things. We need to protect our freedoms. What little people believe we have very little freedom. But imagine not even having the freedoms that you have right now. They can get the needle out because I'm not doing it. Um, so I think that is very important that people pay attention. And it's like, yeah, the government doesn't help. They don't do that. This, they don't do that. They don't. There have been a lot of changes made. People have to realize that um, there was a lot. When these who were voted into office, Kamala and Joe Biden, and people were saying, "Oh, he needs to drop out. He needs to that. He needs to this. He needs to that," and now he's dropped out. So I think that it is very important, regardless of whether you are agreeing with the Democrats or the Republicans, choose the lesser of two evils. Our freedoms definitely depend on it, and I cannot stress that enough. But I don't think that's something that we want to play with. I just don't think that's something that we want to play with. There is something, some people, some of us work in the pharmaceutical industry, and when the pandemic happened, our company was already working from home because November of the previous year, they had got an alert, pulled everybody out of back into the country that was out, canceled all um, trips going out of the country. And so, and that it was not until maybe like, what was it here, February of the following year is when they started seeing something here. We didn't know what was going on, but we knew that something was going on, globally, because we all started working from home November the previous year before the pandemic. So you can think about that if you want, but all we knew that something was going on, and you need to get your employees back to the United States because it's not looking good. You don't want them to be trapped, and we can't say what's going on yet. That's all that was told to us, and then we were, transitioning into, to working remote, um, for 5 days a week. We were already like on a hybrid schedule anyway. But I was on a remote schedule because, yeah, I'm a found away. But yeah, so we were on a hybrid schedule. So that just says a whole lot in itself if you think about it. Just think about what I just said. But I don't think it's a time for us to be sitting on our hands. I don't think it's a time for us to be selfish because we may not like whoever's in office or running. I do believe that everyone's freedoms, not just Democrat, not just Republican, not just independent, all of our freedoms are depending on this. We have to stop looking at this thing like, okay, this is because this is, these people support, carrying whatever over here, and these people just don't want us to carry over here. And there's a lot of tragedy going on in this world. Children being unalive, because people are, other children are coming into schools with weapons and stuff like that. um, World hunger, inflation, um, there's so much going on. People don't see a way out. People don't see how they're going to survive from one day to the next. And so this is something that's very serious. Like it's not about um, I, I'm rich. I'm a, some of these rappers. I'm rich. He got some. This person got so and so out of jail, so let's go with him. No, he's not going. He's not going to help all y'all. He's not going to help all of you. And so I just want to piggyback off of something that the good sis Tamika Mallory said yesterday. Um, she spoke about not wanting to put a stigma on people that are incarcerated, because they're saying how it's the peach guy running for office with 34 felonies. And I get exactly what she's saying, and everybody deserves a certain chance. And I get exactly what she's saying about she doesn't want to us to have start having that conversation uh in that way. And I totally get what she's saying and agree with her. But I believe people are talking about people that have had a felony and have served their time. That's the key phrase right there. Served their time already, and it's not a and they didn't have crimes like unaliving and stuff like that. Some of these felons don't have the right to even vote. So how is it that someone that has been convicted of 34 felonies, it's not like it's alleged. This has not happened when he was in office, so you can throw that out the window as well. The thing is that he has been found guilty by a jury of his peers. He has not served any time, has not been sentenced as of yet, and that is the difference. Everybody deserves a second chance at life. We don't all get it right all the time. So people do deserve a second chance. As long as it's nothing to do with unaliving children, essaying, things like that. Those people, they need to have a space for them, because the essayers, they get time and they get out, and they according to statistics, uh, um, they reoffend. Essayers, they reoffend. They do their time, they come home, and they reoffend. So they need to have a special place for them. I do believe that. But I'm talking about someone that's been incarcerated, maybe for selling a product, especially those people that serve time for um, that 420 that's now legal. There's dispensaries everywhere. Should those people be allowed to get their voting freedoms back? Absolutely. Should they be allowed to re-enter into the world and become successful? Absolutely. But the key phrase here is these people have served their time. The difference with this guy is that he is a convicted felon 34 times and has served no time yet. He has not even been sentenced. Him waiting to be sentenced has nothing to do with the fact that he has already been found guilty. How is he even running for a seat to run this country? Y'all, they got it all wrong. This is all wrong. All wrong. There are so many people out here that can't vote, serve time, can't even get a job to help take care of their families. And here you have someone that's going across the country like, I'm untouchable. I'm untouchable. I can do what I want, and I'm still able to wreak havoc and run for president of the United States of America. That is crazy in itself. So that is the conversation. I do agree with Tamika Mallory, but the difference is the phrase. There's the phrase that separates the two. We're talking about felons that have already served their time, and versus of someone that is a convicted felon awaiting sentencing. So there is a difference. And so, this is where America needs to stand up and say, no, this is wrong. He cannot run as president of the United States. The crime that was found guilty for, those crimes happened before he was the president. So no, he doesn't get a pardon for that. Like, how are we sitting around letting them pull the wolves over our eyes? How is this even allowed? There is nothing to defend here when it comes to him being a convicted felon. This is what it says in the transcripts in the news. This is what the court of law said. This is what a jury of his peers says, that he is guilty of 34 felonies. So now, if he was going to court, it would be the same, he would be innocent until proven guilty. He has been proven guilty. What are we doing in America here? Right now, it's not about Republican, it's not about Democrat, it's not about independent. Being independent. Whatever you identify with, that's whatever you identify with. But our freedoms are on the line here. We have people making laws for women about your bodies. They should be able, men should be able to make laws about women's bodies and what women do with their bodies. Okay, so let's throw Viagra in there then. No more Viagra. If a woman is essaying, and from that essaying, there is a child conceived, come on. How are you going to tell a woman in that predicament? I'm going to just use that as an example. How are you going to tell a woman that has been SA or graped, like you eat grapes, that she has no voice or no say in her own choices after someone violated her? Does not make sense at all. And everybody wants to just be quiet because nobody wants to say anything about what's right. What's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. It doesn't make a difference. And everybody wants to take out of context what they want to take out of context. It doesn't make a difference whether you're the head of a church or whether you're the janitor at a facility. If you grape someone and and as a result, a child was conceived during that moment, women should have the right to make their own choices about what it is they need, what's going to help their healing. That is irrational and illogical for people to even think that that should even be a choice of the government. Really? So, I'm going to just go by the Simpsons predictions, and hopefully everybody will pull their head out of the sand. It was the thing of Joe Biden stepping down. Okay, so he didn't do it when people felt like it. They should have did it, but he's done it. Okay, so now what is the next step in making sure the best candidate is in office? Because like I said, I'm not. Our freedoms are on the line, and guess what? Guess what? It doesn't make a difference. if you are a minority with money, a rapper with money, a business owner with money, that's not really going to matter. That's not really going to matter. And I would never stand up next to this man while he makes fun of our race, and people should be embarrassed because of some of the things that he says, in a way, smearing in your face that he's a criminal and he's about to get away with it. But, to him, criminals equal African American people. Y'all, let's not forget the Central Park 4 or 5. I right now, I just got so much going through my head. Let's not forget about that. He was ready for them to give them the needle, get them out of here for a crime they did not commit. Let's not forget about that so quickly. None of that has changed. None of that. He has not changed. I don't care how many of his grandchildren speak out at whatever, these campaigns. Nothing can soften this hardened man. And so I think, like I said, that we need to come up out of the, take our hands out of our heads out of the sand. And thankfully, she is a part of a sorority, and all sororities will come together and do what it is that they need to do. You can believe that. That they will all be at the polls. They will all be voting regardless to whether they are, part of the Deltas, part of the AKAs, the fraternities, the Qs, and all those people. Like, they will rally together and do what's right. Hi, Don. You was never here. I never saw you either. So, so yeah, they will rally and do what's right. I just think that, we need to look at this as a whole. We don't need to look at this as whatever party you identify with. I'm not here representing any party right now. I'm here representing and speaking about, our freedoms possibly being stripped away from us. And I'm just not. I'm not going backwards, and that's just that. And so I just came to give my thoughts about what I thought about the news that came out today. And of course, you can drop your opinion down in the comments if you like, as long as it's a respectful one. And I will see you guys on the next video. I just hope that, we wake up. I hope that we come to some type of, agreement that we need to get on the same page because, things depend on it. Now, people may have their opinions about Jason Lee from Hollywood Unlocked. He's definitely locked in, and he definitely has some great insight on, things and how, we can move forward, to get the people to see, they have to, the administration, the Biden-Harris administration has to come out and tell all of the things that they have done, because they have done some things. They couldn't get everything approved. Of course, there is an opposing side to everything. So they couldn't get everything approved, but they have moved the needle a little bit. And so, regardless as to how people feel about Jason Lee or whatever, and I have never, and I have always been a Jason Lee fan, but He's making some real sense right about now. He has been making some real sense for some time. And I encourage you guys to like really pay attention when he's talking about the state of the world and like what is needed. Like he makes some very great points. Of course he's running. He won the first race, and hopefully he'll make it through the second. Coming from the background that he's come from, he's come a long way. And this is something that I probably thought I never would be saying. But yeah, I'm looking at it for what it is. He makes some very, very great points. And so shout out to Jason Lee from Hollywood Unlocked, because regardless as to how he gossips, or how Hollywood Unlocked gossips and all this other stuff, he does have Stockton, California's best interest at heart. I do believe, watching him grow into this new role that he's in, while still maintaining, his business. He has a job to do. He has a business to run just like everybody else does. So he has a right to say, what he thinks and what he feels. Who he is as a person, it does not define him. I just think that he's making some very great points at this moment in time. And also, I'll be watching to see, what, Tamika Mallory and her team does next. Like she said, they're not jumping out of the window, like, they're playing to win. So they're very strategic in what they do. And if you're not a part of their planning, you won't know until they strike. And sometimes that's the best way to keep things, because, everybody is not loyal. When you have a camp of people, everyone is not loyal. Or if you let people in that shouldn't be there, hey Don Q, yeah, you was never here. But if you let people in your camp that shouldn't be in your camp, then sometimes things just go awry. People don't know anything. People have lost that sense of loyalty. People have lost all, when it comes to a lot of different things, like, people promise you a lot, and so many different things, and it just does not add up. You have to do the footwork yourself. So I'll just be watching. She does great work. Her and I forget his name, escapes me at this time, so I don't want to mess up his name. It's right on the tip of my tongue. And like they come together and they do great work. And so I'm actually excited, for that, to see, what is to come. But yeah, people, we have to, stop with this. I'm not voting, and I'm going to sit on my hands, and I'm not doing this, and I'm not doing that. There's a lot of people that want to vote that can't. But, it's totally up to you. It is your preference. But I just wanted to get on here and say your freedoms are definitely on the line. So, choose and choose wisely, before you just decide that, hey, I'm just not going to vote because it doesn't matter. It does matter. If it didn't matter, then the last 4 years, we wouldn't have had the two people that were in office. And like I said, sometimes you have to vote for the lesser of two evils. We all know that, you can't please all the people all of the time. Some things take time. And especially when you have two opposing parties that are just, going against each other and, pointing the finger and blaming each other. Like, it's right now, this election is about our freedom. I don't care what side you're on. It is about our freedoms. And that's that. That's it. And that's all. And so I'm going to get out of here. I just came on live just to give my 2 cents on for whatever it's worth. And, my thoughts. And it wouldn't be me if I didn't tell you to make sure that you get your mammograms, fill up on your boobies, and make sure that you are all right. All right. And don't you ever let anyone come into your house and disturb the peace that passes all understanding. I am Survivor Speaks, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.
Keep it fever, keep it fever, keep it fever. I have arrived. Keep it fever, keep it fever, keep it fever.
Alexa, cut it off. It's got my head spinning.